Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. Gee, I hope you're doing it in a Black Prince and you're doing it to people who aren't in a Black Prince, because then things will be pretty freaking cool. This is the pre-nerf Black Prince. Why do I say pre-nerf? Because there is no way this thing gets left alone. It is over the top ridiculous right now. Look at that reload, 3.1 seconds per shot. That's a lot of the reloads. All of the reloads belong to the Black Prince. This is a tank that once upon a time I called the Black Wince. And it was no mistake. At the time, it was a terrible tank. It was super slow. It had average DPM and decent gun handling and was outclassed in a tier where there was just an awful lot of quality, like Helsings and Draculas and Comets and everything else. Well, Wargaming fixed that. They turned it into a tank that was actually competitive. And they did that via a series of buffs over the past 12 months. That's fine. And then for some reason, this patch, the buff machine exploded in a wild, drunken rampage and gave this thing just all of the toys. So now you've got a tank that just is absolutely insane in terms of damage per minute. Look at it spit out damage. This is pre-nerf. I was going to do a video this week called the top 5 most OP tanks in Blitz. Every time I do one of those videos, people seem to like it because they do change. The ratings and statistics do change. I'm giving it a week because last time I did one was just after they had another drunken party and the Tiger P and the Tiger 1 became like the top DPM mediums in tier 7, and then someone realized they were meant to be heavy tanks and they kind of regressed the buff a little bit, and that was after I did the video. So I thought, you know what, I'll just do a video on the pre-nerf Black Prince because that is what this thing is. Like, there is no way this can stand. To give you a little idea on why I think this is the case, 3.1 seconds per shot. If you've got a calculator handy, I'll do it for you, right? Divides 60 by 3.1 to give yourself the amount of rounds that you'll fire out in 1 minute. Then times that by 160, which is the amount of alpha the gun has, and you reach the startling conclusion that the tank is broken because you have 3,100 damage per minute. That's a lot of DPMs. It's more DPM than the Comet. It's more DPM than everything, pretty much. Your Yag Panther. I mean, it's insane, right? It's just nuts. And it's not just that it's got all that DPM. It's that it also has proper heavy tank armor. And it's got a gun that when it's fully maxed out runs at 0.308 dispersion. So it's like a laser beam with a very, very low aim time, base aim time of 2.08 seconds. I don't know what else to tell you. This thing has a fantastic gun. It has amazing firepower. It has excellent armor. You can side scrape it. You can angle it. It's got big tracks. It's got a strong turret. And it has 8 degrees of gun depression. It might be slower than molasses, but it's a proper heavy tank. It's meant to be slow. It's just not meant to have a gun like this. So what I'm going to do is show you a few games, and I'm going to make fun of the tank and fun of the idea that this was an intentional buff, because there is nothing else out there that has these kind of numbers as a tier 7 heavy. It's, unless you start counting the Helsing as a tier 7 heavy, which is reasonable, I guess, but even if you do that and you count the Helsing as a tier 7 heavy, it's only got 2,632 DPM. The E25 has just under 3,000 DPM, and it's a mad DPM machine with super mobility, but absolutely no armor and no turret. Like, are you getting the idea on how crazy the DPM on this thing is? Like, it's got more DPM, damage per minute, than most of the tier 7 TDs that you find. Crazy tanks like the ISU 122S have 3,352 DPM, but they actually have no turret, crap mobility, and have to expose themselves to get these shots off. Look at this thing. Look at the reload. He's hit adrenaline and he has 2.5 second reload. It's just get out of town crazy. Get out of town crazy. And that's from Wolverine8471 from the WLV clan. Now, we're going to have a look at a replay here from Zoe14. This is such a great replay. I love this. What I'm going to do is, I got a whole heap of replays from one email address. I swear to God, they came up as different tanks. But anyway, this is Zoe14. Different player names. Again, I mean, broken tank, broken human. Very good play here, by the way. Zoe14. Excellent play. This is a very good game. I mean, quite apart from the way the tank is broken, the play is excellent and fully takes advantage of that fact. A replay from, well, see, this is with good players in a good tank, right? No, good players in an amazing tank. What happens when you put one of the best players in the game in the tank? Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to put his Royal Fatness from Premo in the Black Prince. We're going to see exactly what a remorseless bludgeoning looks like of an entire enemy team. What putting 6 blokes on your shoulders and walking forward across the finish line looks like. We're going to see that. If you're wondering who his Royal Fatness is, you might remember if you watched the Mobile Masters from Seattle, his Royal Fatness, this is just off the cuff. I'm pretty sure I was talking to Juju about this. His Royal Fatness had the highest average damage in the tournament in proper good players, right? Offline, everyone is in a room, all the pressure, playing for money, and this guy is doing the most damage. So if you want to deal with someone who's like that and put them in a tank like this, you're going to see how exactly stupid the vehicle is. Now, I know I'm going to get some people saying, oh, Bushka, this sucks, man. You're going to get this tank nerfed. So? Like, I don't understand how people can say that. It happened when I pointed out the VK2801 was still completely overpowered. And I got a few humans going, this is rubbish, man. I can't believe you got this tank nerfed. Firstly, I'm not the one that's going to get this tank nerfed. This tank is going to get this tank nerfed. Wargaming look at data. When the data says everyone's winning in a Black Prince, teams that have Black Princes on them tend to win more. Wargaming's going to say, you know what, this is ridiculous. They did it with the Tiger 1 and the Tiger P. This is a great drive too, by the way. Look at this. This is in the middle of just an absolute furor of tanks. There are 5 reds all over Zoe14 right now. And Zoe is like, you know what? Get wrecked. I can handle it. Bring it on. Using the carcass of the dead KV2 to hide from that SU-152 and then angling up. And look at that. Taking a 400 alpha shot from the IS, but made sure the angle was perfect for the... Just insane. He's going to get 2 kill shots in before the ISU-152 was reloaded. This is nuts. It's like a remorseless cabbage-producing tank. Everyone in front of it turns into a cabbage and just gets wrecked. Okay, so where was I? This is unbalanced. This is severely unbalanced. I am on record. My reload cancer, says the IS. And he's look, I don't like that term. I just think that's the kind of mentality that it brings to the game. It really makes you quite annoyed. I'm on record all over the place. The important stuff for me is not the frivol and the frothel. It's not the stuff that's... I like the bling. I love the bling, and as long as it has a point. I'm really on board. I am about game balance. That's the most important for me. And this is completely broken. I'm going to show you another one from Zoe. Good work. This is how this slipped through the cracks. This is nuts. Again, congrats, WOTB. Someone saying nice things about Wargaming in the chat. Watch out. They'll probably get that pro matchmaking now. This is a tier 8 tank. Tier 8 tanks, right? Tier 8 game. A lot of tier 8 tanks in there. It won't worry this tank, because this tank has tier 9 DPM and it's in tier 7. Hell, it's got more DPM than tier 10 heavies, some of them. This is the truth. I can't make that up. But here we go. Gun barrel fight, straight up heavy on heavy. Big side scraping winner, this tank. Works well on a side scrape. It's got 171 pen, so the pen isn't amazing at all, but it's enough. I mean, the pen is enough. It's got the same... I mean, you can see another Black Prince down there, but that Black Prince is not side scraping. Zoe 14 is side scraping. AP will go through the front of the Black Prince just there. As you can see, look at this reload. Look at this stupid damage pumping out. We are like 30 seconds into the engagement, and the Black Prince is making an absolute mockery of every other heavy on the enemy team. If you are side scraping on this tank and they come around, you will just burn so many tanks down. They cannot deal with the damage output. I mean, that's a Tiger P. That is one of the best tier 7 heavies in terms of armor, and it just can't face the onslaught. Look at the melting. Have some melting. Have a little more melting. That's a gun with a lot of DPM for a tier 7 heavy. And it's just not able to deal. Look at it go. We're at nearly 2,000 damage. Just... This is crackers. Just drive forward and press the button. And now the other Black Prince has a side scope going on. 2,000 damage output. 2,020 damage taken. What a wonderful, wonderful thing these new ribbons are, by the way. I adore them. That Black Prince should be facing up to this Black Prince. This is the big issue. This Black Prince right here. Not the other bloke behind. This one right here. Although then again, you get to choose which Black Prince you want to die from. Running them in platoon is stupid. Like, you have 6,000 damage per minute. Like, you can drop adrenaline and drop anyone. It's crackers. But the problem with running them in platoon is you run out of tanks to kill too quickly. Okay, Ice Panther 2_1 has had a wonderful game. Excellent game. This is the reason I featured, and I did have some replays that were much higher in terms of damage. I mean, one, it's a tier 8 game, so you're dealing with a big ass amount of hit points on the other team. And the other one is a lot of this block damage and side scraping was fundamentally brilliant heavy tank playing. This tank, because it's so slow, I had a game in it on stream the other day, and I have driven this tank quite a bit on stream, where I had 58 damage playing with Meadsy, who was in a Dracula, and because its mobility is so poor, it actually struggles at times to get to the damage, because by the time you get there, if you've got a really good team, you can't actually get things done. All the bling, all the ribbons, all the bells and whistles. 3.5k damage nearly, and over 2k block damage. Excellent stuff. So you've got to make sure that you run your heavy tank routes. Now, this is exactly like Zoe 14's game in the kickoff here. This is his Royal Fatness from Pramo, who is a monster of rock and roll, and we're going to watch him. I love the camo too, by the way. It looks very nice on this tank. He does exactly what we were talking about in the last game. Drives it like a fundamentally sound heavy tank. Gets it in there and relies on the ability to create good angles to actually just out-muscle these guys. I mean, look at the poor effort at the start. He really was just playing super aggressive. And so then he gets stuck in. I mean, he couldn't be more aggressive. He's literally relying on the ability of the tank to carry him across the finish line. So he's burnt half his hit point pool right at the start. Then he drops adrenaline and just starts going ham. Look at that Vindicator. Bouncing shots from the 1375, smacking the Vindicator. He's firing on the reload right now. It was a 2.5 second reload. Now, you might note he's got a 3.3 second reload time. I believe that is because he was running calibrated shells instead of the standard stock standard reload, or he might just not have a 100% crew. I'm not certain, but either way, the replay speaks for itself. Like, this is a great tank in the hands of a great tank driver. It is now 6-on-3. Things look bad. Things look very bad indeed. Our Amigo has 625 hit points left, and he's retiring from that area up there in very good order, though. That was a Pramo shot coming in from that Maltz Panzer, whatever the hell it is, the Star Chaser. Great angles here, just great angles. Look at that strict adherence to angling doctrine. Takes it down to 3-on-5, then it goes back to 5-on-2. The Schmaltz needs to be very aware of what's going on here. He's in a bad place. The Tiger P's getting angry. That IS has seen blood in the water. The adrenaline is about to get dropped again, and oh, there's an ammo rack. Happy days. Great angle there. Tiny little scope, and he hasn't broken those tracks, the boxes in front of him. There they go. The schmaltz is into him. Needs another one. It's down to 1 on 4. It was 1 on 5. Clearing the next lowest target. Now it's just 1 on 2. Can he get rid of that? No, he'll just take what's in front of him. Clear the ARL. Clear the ARL. If that AMX pops around the corner because he thinks he's on a reload, he's going to be sorely disappointed. This thing doesn't reload. It's just ready to go. Oh my God. Look at this meltdown go. This is just unbelievable. 5,085 damage in a tier 7 heavy, and did it in just over 3 minutes of playtime. I mean, if you count the time it gets to the battle, then it's like 3 minutes worth of just basically pressing the button and watching them fall down. That was super aggressive play. And that's the reason this tank is super OP right now. If you think about it like this, the standard form for an average driver is if you can trade shot for shot, you can do 2k average damage at tier 10 every day of the week. If you can trade shot for shot, because you can get like 5 shots off before your hit point pool is evaporated by a same type of tank. That's generally the thought process. His Royal Fatness was so aggressive there because the Black Prince could be the best tank in the game right now at trading hit points. You have a very high likelihood, if you were in a side scrape, an offensive side scrape position, of bouncing 50% of the shots. So if you can bounce 1 out of 2 from the other guy and take a 2,000 DPM tank down to 1,000 DPM, then you can burn through him before he can take out half your hit point pool. So that's like stealing 1,000 hit points every time you make a trade is pretty real. The ability of the tank to permatrack, the ability of the tank to just blow down low hit point targets. I mean, an IS or something fires a shot. He has a very, very long reload. You can get 4 shots in by the time he's ready to go again. And that's pretty freaking scary. I mean, these are the things that we look at and we just say, forget about it. Broken beyond belief. Until next time, boys and girls, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.